Hey you guys, this is Britta Alton from Ringgold United Methodist Church. If you can tell, I'm right out in front of the church. I'm parked under one of my favorite trees. And as we keep listening to Pastor Chris talk about looking towards the future, this week he's going to be looking at 13 years ahead. So a lot of times the easiest way to think about that far ahead is to try to think about that far behind. So last week when we talked about 3 years, you might could have imagined 3 years ahead because you could remember how much you've changed in 3 years. But 13 years is a lot of years. Unless you have an older brother or sister that is watching with you, then I don't think you guys are going to have 13 years to look back at to see what the next 13 might be like. It turns out I have a perfect 13-year gauge because when we moved to Ringgold 13 years ago, I had a little tiny baby with me and a 2-year-old. My tiny baby boy that I toted up here to Ringgold in a bucket. I jokingly called his car seat that, but he is 13 now. He's taller than me. His feet are bigger than me. He's just grown for 13 years and he's done a really good job of it. So I think you guys will do a good job too. So I asked him to read our verses today. Let's hear how he chose to do that.
The Lord first gave messages to Jeremiah during the 13th year of the reign of Josiah the son of Ammon, king of Judah. The Lord gave me this message. I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb. Before you were born, I set you apart and appointed you as my prophet to the nations. O sovereign Lord, I said, I can't speak for you. I'm too young. The Lord replied, Don't say I'm too young, for you must go wherever I send you and say whatever I tell you. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope.
If you didn't catch that, he read from Jeremiah chapter 1, verses 2 and then 3 through 7, and then chapter 29, verse 11. So that's a special thank you to my tiny baby youngest child, who is a giant now. I love that in these verses, the Lord tells Jeremiah, I knew you before you were in your mother's womb, before you were even born. I love to think about how much better God knows me than I may even know myself. Jeremiah was a prophet, so he ended up talking to God's people, letting them know where they were going wrong and encouraging them to turn towards God in every way possible. That's not easy work, and it takes a lot of trust. But I would love for you to think about where you will be in 13 years. So if you are 6 years old right now, in 13 years, you will be 19 years old, right? Yeah. Ew. Except that when you are even younger than 19, but when you're that old, think about all of the good things that you can be doing in your life that glorify God. You can be serving at church. You might have served on a mission trip to one of our communities that we partner with Haiti or Nicaragua. That would be kind of exciting. You might be in school at college studying to do something that you can change the world with. It's a lot to think about, but it is kind of fun. I hope that you will enjoy thinking about 13 years from now and where you might be, and especially how you might be partnering with God. I know that you are growing when I'm not seeing you. I pray that you are blessed until we cross paths again. I look forward to seeing you when I can, and I look forward to worshiping with you, whether we are together or apart. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.